Andrew Tucker, and welcome to Andrew Tucker World. What's going on, all my great people? What's going on, all my boxing fans? Andrew Tucker, the African and Asian warrior, the Black Lion. And Canelo was a bad motherfucker. I don't take nothing away from Canelo. I've probably been watching Canelo fight longer than a lot of guys that think they know boxing, but they don't really pretty much don't know shit. Canelo fought killers. I've been watching Crawford and Canelo for a long time. Crawford is a bad motherfucker. What's up with all this running shit though? What's all this running shit, dude? Crawford can beat your ass in the inside when he know he faster than you. He know his timing is superior than your timing. See, because you got two dangerous boxer punchers right here. And I keep telling you motherfuckers, y'all keep talking about size. When you have a highly skilled David going up against a highly skilled Goliath, but you don't know if this David have certain advantages in ways that can bring down that motherfucking Goliath, right? And it's just some things that I see. It's some things that certain fighters, Hall of Fame fighters, see. It's certain things that other Hall of Fame fighters see in Canelo that could very well win him the fight against Terrence Boyd Crawford. So I don't, so fighters don't get the fucking credit that they deserve. And I keep trying to tell people, time after time again, y'all niggas talk too fucking much. I wouldn't care if you had 5,000 subscribers up to 1,000,000. Y'all cut that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all think it's because you got all the sense, you got all the knowledge, and you're so really educated, and you're like the scientists of this sport, but you forget the fucking foundation and the blueprint to the sport. But you forget, right? And then in y'all out of y'all eyes, and so y'all so fucking disrespectful, like y'all are actually have as part of the career of the fighters. Well, if their trainers didn't believe, and I believe these were some decorated trainers, and I believe it was some solid people a part of their team that were legends and future or Hall of Fames and Hall of Famers, and decorated fighters in their respected time of when they was professional fighters and dominating and becoming unified champions in two different weight classes, three different weight classes, or becoming undisputed in one, or just basically champions or ex undisputed or unified, whatever the case may be, within one class or various weight classes. So when you have some great fighters telling you that this fighter is number one pound for pound, see, because these fighters don't see from y'all perspective. A lot of fucking unknowledgeable boxing fans, so they don't see from your perspective. See, because me personally, I know what both of these fighters can do. I know how Canelo beats Crawford. I know how, and I know and see how Canelo beats Crawford, but I know and see how Crawford beats Canelo, and that shit is fully activated. Canelo is going to struggle within certain rounds, and it's not going to be good because I just know it's going to be them certain type of fighters that can not just dig deep or have this willpower over the other. Both of these fighters some strong motherfuckers, and you got to respect Canelo being that king at 168. You know what I'm saying? Crawford is mindful of the power and of the skills of Canelo. He's mindful. He's fucking studied Canelo. I'm telling you right now, he studied him. He's not looking past him. He knows what this kid possesses as a fighter, the intangibles, the attributes, the superior techniques and strategies, and the fundamental techniques and strategies when it comes to this kid. Shit, I'm a beast, so I know what type of beast Canelo is, but I know what type of beast Crawford is, and he can just be slightly on a whole nother level as far as being a superior, highly skilled, highly intelligent. And so they say motherfuckers get hit. Well, Crawford barely got hit in the Earl Spence Jr. Style makes fights. So without that triangle bullshit, don't kind of get too far in boxing. I mean, it kind of can prove a point in ways, but it don't get too far in boxing. It really don't. It really don't get too far because style makes fights. Like I promise you, like the people fight certain fighters that Crawford have faced don't get the recognition that they deserve. Like for example, you're disrespecting the once upon a time once was a pound for pound fighter within that little small weight class, and he probably muscular and more of the physique size of more of a stronger fighter. Was likely a little bigger than Crawford, and he was the guy in pound for pound fighter. And a lot of people, even certain fighters, said that he was going to lose. that Crawford was going to lose against this strong, very strong Cuban fighter, at the time, decorated fighter. And I'm talking about, you had 50 Cent, you had a lot of people coming to watch this kid, this explosive, dangerous fighter at the time, in his prime, killing guys, and Eureka's Gamboa. It took a special fighter at that time, a highly skilled fighter at that time, to beat a caliber fighter that's a dangerous inside, technical brawler, boxer, puncher like Eureka Zamboa. And it took a special caliber fighter, elite level fighter like Terrence Boyd Crawford, to figure him out, break him, make proper adjustments to break him and to beat him, right? It took a certain special fighter like Canelo Alvarez to beat a Hall of Famer like Miguel Cotto. So I don't forget none of these fucking fights. Miss me with that bullshit. I was watching these fights. I was watching these kids. I told you I was watching Canelo when he was like 10 fights in, well, probably like 15 fights in. I was watching Crawford when he was 11 fights in. You know, had the little braids, little dreads, and he just braid the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the young killer, Canelo, young killer, watching these guys destroy guys. You know, I'm looking at the crowd go crazy. I'm looking at certain people seeing greatness in young, dangerous, highly talented, highly skilled, athletic fighters. Crawford a little bit more athletic than Canelo. That's also one little fucking advantage, where that's making it about being more of a mover, of a lateral, inside and outside. Amir Khan was like, damn, this man fast as fuck on his feet. When he wants to not get touched, he don't have to get touched. His defense is superior. Canelo got good defense. Crawford can be more of a defensive sound fighter with just moving laterally, left, right, in and out. Pivot game can be crazy, right? And so same thing, Canelo, his defense can be superior, and he can his timing is impeccable with not just his offense but his defense. But Crawford got the edge in that category. Crawford has the edge is working off the jab, working off the back foot. Crawford has the edge when it comes to setting up combinations and counters from certain angles. I ain't just talking about just the different stances and shit, switch it and shit like that. He on the fly. A Porter will give a Canelo a hard time because of the fucking style. A Sean Porter that they said was washed up that when Crawford faced him. Well, if that's the case, Miguel Cotto was washed up when he fought Canelo Alvarez, but he ain't gonna admit that because he trained his ass off. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? If that's the case, you fight. They fight in certain fighters like Canelo Alvarez fighting, you know, against certain killers when they was at a certain age. I'm not gonna mention them because I don't want to disrespect those great fighters, even at the time that even Floyd Mayweather had to step in the ring and face, you know what I'm saying, like Carlos Baldermills and the motherfuckers like that. That was very dangerous and very tough. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't on top of your game, if you ain't on that elite level and superior and smart, calculated fighter and properly coming in there and making adjustments and stick to a certain skill set, your ass is getting destroyed by Carlos Baldermill. I don't give a damn. He was 40 years old. Canelo went in there and he knocked him out. He did what he had to do. He was still dangerous even though he wasn't in his prime. So I guess we give Canelo credit for that. Well, fuck yeah, I give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all judging the books by his motherfucking cover, this age shit, bro, past his prime. Well, he felt that he can go in there. Oh, it's just the payday. Don't fuck all that. They warriors at the end of the day. The payday is good, but they also still want to be great. I believe that it's a fighter mentality. And a lot of you motherfuckers ain't gonna know nothing about that because y'all ain't been there. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? You have when you have certain styles. Style makes fights. You know what I'm saying? When you Austin Trout, Canelo struggled with a certain style. The average Lundy Lara, he struggled with a certain style, but he still went in there against them two highly skilled per boxer punchers, and he still won the fight. It's arguably a controversial situation when some people feeling like average Lundy Lara won the shit. I feel Canelo edged it by split decision, something like that. Maybe unanimous decision if we go back and rewatch it. But he got that over Lara. So I can see how people saying that Lara won. It was close like that. So I can respect their opinion and their perspective. Just like I respect people putting $20,000 fucking dollars on Canelo to knock out Crawford or for Canelo to win, just beat Crawford. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, live life, man. Do what you gotta do. Hopefully, you know, you win that double up, or you win that investment, double up on that investment, you know, and but I don't see you doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was wise. I could be wrong though. You know what I'm saying? I don't care to be wrong or fucking right. I just want to see a great fight between these two killers, these two future Hall of Famers, these two legendary fighters. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound fighters, best fighters of the generation. I just want to see a fucking great fight, a war, right? But I'm gonna just tell you right now, both of these guys know what they have to do. and they're gonna have to be on top of their fucking tip top of the fucking game, even at the ages and even at the even at a certain level that they body possesses and put out at a certain middle aged man. They gotta execute the game plan. I just see how Crawford edged the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I don't see him stopping Canelo, but shit, first time for everything, right? It's like the first time for everything Canelo could stop Crawford. I don't see that shit. So Crawford might not get credit. Spence went through a lot of shit, but it's crazy how, you know, um, you know, Spence, can get the credit for beating Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? To get the credit, you know what I'm saying? Most definitely. After the car accident and after recovering and getting time to get back, as a still when you're going through a tragic and horrific event, a situation like that, had to go through something like that, I can tell you firsthand, the shit can still get to you and still come to you and hunt you every now and then, every blue moon. But I know that 100% he bounced back, and God is good, and love and respect for Spence. But even before that incident, he was gonna lose to Crawford. I just seen different. I just seen a person that slightly had maybe 2 or 3 advantages over the fighter. And I knew it was gonna be great. Slightly could have been a better fight, but you see a version of Spence even bouncing back. Went up against a great warrior in Danny Garcia. People say he ain't the same, but just don't take away from Spence Spence was able to do great. Right? I look at the fucking fights. I don't just look at one fighter. No, I look at both fighters and what they're doing in the ring, and why one is abandoning the game plan and why one can't really do shit. You know what I'm saying? So I look at these things, right? Now another thing, you know what I'm saying? Coming back, he dominates. Your Dennis Ugas, you know what I'm saying, in a fucking dominant fashion. And I'm like, damn, this Spence just as dangerous and just as worse than, the incident, before the incident. You know what I'm saying? And so Crawford gets a version of a dog, of a much more of a monster, not just a technically sound boxer puncher that's a decent counter puncher and a deadly inside fighter, but he getting more of a stronger monster, motherfucking monster. And I'm not saying that Spence was 100% there or himself. Crawford, goes to fight into other backyards and goes and dare to be great. In other people's backyard, Ricky Burns was destroying guys over there in the United Kingdom. He went over there to his hometown. I believe that's Scotland. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. He goes into people's backyard and he do what he got to do. He went up against some tough little killers. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Deans and the decorated amateurs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? He go against future Olympians like Diaz, decorated amateur fighter, Olympian, fucking tough fighter. Beat great fighters and stuff like that. Guys that were still pretty much in shape enough and dangerous enough to still beat some of them guys at the time, even though they was getting a little out of their prime, like Lamont Peterson when it came to Diaz. And then you seen what Crawford did with the Diaz. So certain fighters he's getting credit for. He's not getting credit for certain fighters like Jeff Horn gets destroyed, but he struggled. But Pacquiao struggles with a certain style, and style makes fights. A big dude. Crawford show, that side shit don't matter. I'm coming up to 147 fighting one of the biggest fighters and decorated fighters, whether his style ugly is rugged or not. I'm fighting one of the biggest decorated fighters at 147, and I'm manhandling him like a rag doll to show you that I am fucking strong. All that small shit went out the window. You talking about a fighter just as big as Spence, just as big as Keith Thurman, just as big as Danny Garcia and Jeff Horn. That motherfucker could be a light heavyweight. True story though. And Crawford get up there and treat his ass like a rag doll. No disrespect to Jeff Horn. I like his style in the way how he used to rough guys up. Kind of remind me similar to a smaller version, or bigger version of Ricky Hatton. You know what I'm saying? But this is like a lot of certain fighters that even Canelo have faced that Crawford would have fucking destroyed. Like, no disrespect though. It was a lot of certain fighters. I take away from the Triple G. Whatnot. But I'm just telling you, certain fighters that would have struggled with a fucking Crawford that Canelo have faced. And there was certain fighters like a Madrimov, a decorated amateur, and Dimitri Bivol, the Perturbios, and all them there. The Joe Apatayas about what time it was with guys like Israel, Madrimov. That nigga was a monster at 154, one of the killers there. And I covered him for like 2 years, so I knew what time it was. I knew Crawford was gonna be in a tough fight with that kid. So y'all don't know shit. You say you're hardcore, you ain't fucking hardcore, because you would have knew a lot of these guys, and you would have been carrying to cover certain fights globally, not just fucking in the States or this country, that country, or I'm covering fights different parts of the world, different continents, got of different continents in their countries and their regions and their lands. So miss me with that bullshit. I knew Israel Measurement was gonna be a problem, and he still is a problem at 154. Whoever he may face next. Virgil was a fucking killer, and so I knew him and Virgil was gonna be a war. So I guess Virgil trash too, because if Virgil fighting Israel Measurement, he struggled against Israel Measurement, the fucking decorated killer, and just because he had with a handful of fights, that should tell you something. Same thing. Oh, Canelo gonna destroy. I had a lot of people. Canelo gonna destroy Bill. He ain't got a little bit of fights. Bill only got a little bit of fights, but not knowing he's a decorated amateur. And when I say amateur, I'm talking about the elite level amateur that stayed more on the Olympian type games. Long ass amateur record. Them be the worst ones. Them be the styles you're gonna struggle with. And Israel Majumar was one on. So that show you how special Crawford is. That he was able to win and beat him unanimous decision. And that show you how special Virgil is to beat him in unanimous decision. He bounced back and still be a threat. Stop counting these fighters out, man. Stop thinking that you know these fighters, not giving them the benefits, not saying they are nobody. Y'all are disrespectful as fuck, and y'all are not good for the sport. Crawford and Canelo is a great fight. This is a war. This would be very intriguing. A beautiful matchup. Two Hall of Famers. This fight makes more sense than any other motherfucking fight for Crawford or any other motherfucking fight for Canelo. The Benavidez and all that there, they'll get there. As far as Canelo. But as far as what makes more sense, this one, a legacy fucking defining fight makes more sense. Two of the top kings, and for a long time makes sense. Benavidez is that future king, and hopefully he get to meet Canelo, and hopefully he get to fight Canelo, and more of that fight is more particular because of certain styles, and because of the styles complements each other so much. I see why y'all want it, and you might get it, and it would be very intriguing. And I wouldn't doubt if Canelo won the fight or lost. Yeah. I got Crawford, unanimous decision. He could lose this, but I see him winning. Canelo is one of my favorite fucking fighters, y'all. Don't ever get it twisted for a minute or a second. But I'm just coming to let you know. I see the number one pound for pound fighter of the world being victorious and making a statement. Crawford.